Since February 10th, the first day of the Chinese New Year, wildfires have ravaged at least 25 regions, including Guiyang, Bijie, Anshun, and Liupanshui in Guizhou Province. The fires, which have persisted for over a dozen days, have now spread to hundreds of locations. They've now stretched over a distance of over 100 kilometers, engulfing nearly half of Guizhou Province. Videos captured by netizens show a flaming wall reaching into the night sky, with flames even reaching onto roads. Given the mountainous terrain prevalent throughout Guizhou, many large villages are nestled among these hills. Due to the ferocity of the fires and challenging rescue conditions, numerous homes have been reduced to ashes. Overnight, many villagers have found themselves homeless, with their livestock, including chickens, ducks, cows, and sheep, perishing in the flames. Videos shared by local residents show houses surrounded by flames, some completely razed to the ground, with few surviving chickens scavenging among the debris. On February 21st, an elderly resident of Guizhou wailed in front of the ruins of her home. According to her daughter, everything they owned has turned into ashes, leaving them with virtually nothing except for 2 people, 2 pigs, and 1 chicken. The 78-year-old man had worked all his life, but it was all over in a fire. Nothing is left. There were only 2 pigs left in the back that were not burned. Hundreds of kilograms of rapeseed were burned. All the bacon and corn were burned, and nothing was saved. Another video shows the rapid spread of the wildfires across the mountains, leaving local residents powerless as they watch their homes being devoured by the flames. Some villagers took matters into their own hands, attempting to extinguish the flames with whatever means available. One villager's pig farm was engulfed by the wildfires, resulting in the deaths of over a dozen pigs. He sobbed uncontrollably. For the farmers of Guizhou, these pigs represent their livelihood and sustenance. A video posted online on February 20th showed that the wildfire was fierce, wide, and encircled the mountain. According to reports from the Beijing News, the wildfires in Guizhou's Pu'an County originated from villagers burning grass on the evening of February 19th, spreading from Liupanshui city to Longyin town. In addition to 2 rural areas, a sudden wildfire broke out behind the government office building in Shuicheng district on February 20th. Videos show flames raging behind the government building, with thick white smoke billowing as the fire continues to spread. On February 20th, wildfires also erupted in Anshun City, Guizhou Province. According to mainland media reports, a large fire broke out in Taiguan Town, Xishou district of Anshun City. Villagers from Yaochun village revealed that the power went out. Residents stayed awake throughout the night to guard their homes and monitor the fire. They reported that several uninhabited wooden structures were engulfed by the flames. Another video depicts wildfires in Zhengning and Miao Autonomous County, Anshui City, illuminating the dark sky across the mountains. The wildfires in Yachi town occurred even earlier. On the evening of February 18th, a government official stated that the fire broke out around 3 p.m. with a linear distance of approximately 1,000 meters from town. A local woman mentioned seeing the blaze from her home. In the early hours of February 19th, the local government reported that due to strong winds, the fire spread rapidly, forming 2 fire lines in the east-west and north-south directions. The situation was reported to be under control. However, Mr. Gong, a local resident, mentioned that despite efforts to contain the fire by creating a fire break on the 18th, the situation escalated on the 19th due to changing winds. Videos depict multiple bright fire lines on the mountains, indicating the ferocity of the blaze. Not only have forests and villages been affected, but there have also been reports of fires in urban outskirts, rural buildings, and even repair workshops in Guiyang suburbs. A leaked document purportedly from the Guizhou Provincial Ecology and Meteorological Center reveals satellite imagery showing numerous fire spots covering a significant portion of Guizhou, equivalent to the size of 2 Taiwans. Some media outlets have reported that even with all available rescue efforts, authorities are struggling to contain the wildfires, being that Guizhou is mountainous. They are pinning their hopes on substantial rainfall. Some netizens also posted, "This wildfire is not just 1 or 2 hills, but more than half of Guizhou is burning. There are 7 or 8 wildfires in Guiyang alone. Anshun, Bijie, Zunyi, in most of Guizhou there are fires burning all night long. And the fires burn behind the village, behind the school, and even right in front of the house, swallowing up the air. Perhaps in order to maintain a happy facade, the Chinese Communist Party's official media turned a blind eye to the wildfires in Guizhou. Local residents' online calls for help were also drowned out. During the Chinese New Year, people across the country were still immersed in festivities. Little did they know that such a serious wildfire had occurred in distant Guizhou, and that residents were in dire straits. Only a small number of Guizhou bloggers' cries for help were circulated online, but related topics have been suppressed by state-controlled media platforms. Some social media users sent out a letter asking for help. "Stop censoring, please. Half the province was burned, and we were left alone and helpless. The entire Guizhou Province is in a sea of fire. The fire is so fierce that there are currently casualties among rescuers. I hope everyone will pay more attention to it and let it be known. Pray for rain. I hope everyone returns safely." It was not until February 21st, after the efforts of netizens, that the local media began to report it. However, as of February 23rd, news about the Guizhou fires was not found on search engine Baidu. According to the official website of China's Emergency Management Ministry, on February 23rd, a total of 221 forest fires occurred across the province, all of which have been extinguished. Among these incidents, 11 were classified as forest fires, resulting in 2 casualties, with the extent of damages still under assessment. Authorities mobilized a total of 730 teams, including armed police, firefighters, forestry, and professional rescue teams, along with over 9,200 personnel and more than 15,000 volunteers to aid in firefighting efforts. Despite official claims of having successfully extinguished the wildfires, citizen reports and videos still show the wildfires persisting and embers igniting new flames. The Emergency Management Ministry attributed the wildfires to sporadic rainfall, average temperatures exceeding 20 degrees Celsius, and prolonged periods of strong winds combined with dry conditions. Additionally, traditional practices during the Chinese New Year period, indiscriminate disposal of cigarette butts, burning of weeds, and agricultural activities were cited as contributing factors. On February 21st, Guiyang City reported that a sudden wildfire broke out around noon on February 20th in Wenshui Village, Baihuahu Town, caused by a 57-year-old man burning weeds in his field. The individual, identified as Mr. Zheng, was subjected to mandatory measures. Situated in the eastern part of Yungui Plateau, Guizhou Province is predominantly characterized by highland mountainous terrain, with 92.5% of its area comprising mountains and hills. Hence, the region is prone to wildfires, posing challenges to rescue operations. Furthermore, local netizens revealed a severe issue of stone tabletization in Guizhou, referring to chaotic local burial practices leading to numerous mounds scattered across the mountains. Paying respects to deceased relatives during the Chinese New Year involves burning incense, candles, and paper offerings. This, combined with dry grass and strong winds, increases the risk of wildfires. Beyond Guizhou, the Emergency Management Bureau highlighted the ongoing drought conditions in northern and western Guangxi, particularly in Bijie and Hezhi, resulting in high forest fire risks. Satellite monitoring systems detected 22 hotspots from February 18th to 20th, with subsequent wildfires occurring in Bijie and Hezhi on the 20th. After 3 days and 2 nights of intensive firefighting efforts, the situation has been brought under control. Many Chinese netizens criticized the Chinese Communist Party and state media for their indifference. The forest fires occurred as early as 10 days ago. Why are they only reporting on the disaster now? A netizen by the handle Ignatius Lee said that while Chinese media pays attention to the Guizhou fire, the state media is using word games to extinguish the fire in news reports. If you look at Chinese official media reports, you would think that a fire broke out somewhere in Guizhou and the fire was under control. However, the CCP official media did not mention where exactly it burned, how much damage was caused, or how various places responded to the disaster. On social media platform X, netizens posted images and text claiming that half of Guizhou was ablaze. They said if this happened in the United States, CCTV would surely report on it non-stop for 24 hours. However, for many disasters that occur domestically, they turn a blind eye and pretend not to see or hear them. In an interview with Radio Free Asia on February 23rd, Mr. Wang, a resident of Zunyi, criticized the state media for being so persistent in reporting foreign disasters while turning a blind eye to domestic ones. He said, "Reporting good news but not bad news is a characteristic of the propaganda agencies of communist countries." Previously, when wildfires occurred in the United States and Australia, the Chinese media, under the control of the propaganda department, continued to report on it every day. However, with the wildfires in Guizhou, they are selectively indifferent. Not only did official media not report it themselves, they did not allow the public to comment. A dissident who was in his hometown in Tongzi County, Guizhou, told Radio Free Asia that on the morning of February 23rd, 2 local national security guards came to him and asked him to delete his comments about the Guizhou wildfires. Because the wildfires involved local public opinion, the superior police put pressure on them and asked Ji Feng to delete the post. Some netizens found that the Global Times, a CCP mouthpiece, published only 1 report on the tragic Guizhou wildfires, but published 26 reports on the Hawaii fires. A netizen left a message saying, "Isn't Guizhou part of China, but Hawaii in the United States?" Others said, "My family and property are in the United States, so of course I should care more about the United States." It turns out that so-called patriotism is about loving the United States. In fact, what the Chinese people don't know is that whether it's a fire in Hawaii or a wildfire in Canada, if a resident's private property is damaged, there will generally be insurance compensation and government subsidies. In China, all losses caused by fires can only be borne by the residents themselves. Zhou said that for the losses caused by the wildfires, there's definitely no compensation from the government, but only some humanitarian assistance. Not only has the official media shown indifference to Guizhou wildfires, but there have also been shocking instances of apathy, like women seen dancing in public squares. Such callousness toward the suffering of others is deeply disheartening. The CCP media does not report the facts, but instead takes the lead in blaming Japan. Recently, claims that Japanese spies set fires have begun to appear on the Chinese internet. On social media platform X, there is news that due to authorities' deliberate neglect, conspiracy theories are rampant. The situation has now escalated to the stage where it's being suggested that Japanese spies are setting fires in the mountains of Guizhou to burn China's traditional Chinese medicine materials. These reposted screenshots say, "Guizhou is a major exporter of Chinese herbal medicine. Guizhou has abundant Chinese herbal resources specializing in treating difficult and complicated diseases. China has just banned the export of rare Chinese herbal medicines to Japan, and within a few days, fires broke out. It was seen online that villagers filmed Japanese spies sneaking into the mountain to set fires, attempting to ignite several times. When villagers shouted, they fled. Later, it seemed that some Japanese nationals were caught, claiming they were tourists just playing with fire to roast twigs. And there were also people intentionally suppressing this news." This comment was reposted multiple times. Another screenshot mentioned, "The country just announced the ban on exporting rare medicinal materials to Japan, and then fires broke out in Guizhou. Guangxi, Guizhou, and Yunnan are all important areas for Chinese herbal medicines. Nowadays, fires have occurred to varying degrees. This is quite worrying." Of course, many netizens have seen through the trick, knowing that it's the CCP's internet army trying to shift the blame onto Japan. Some social media users claim that the herbs in Guizhou had not yet been planted, so what is there to burn? Some netizens commented, debunking rumors and shifting blame. This time it's not blaming the United States. Japan is now the scapegoat. Japan's national strength has become stronger. Otherwise, how could they blame Japan? It must be the United States shifting the blame. Soon they will say it was caused by the falling debris of American satellites. Many are familiar with how the CCP shifts blame onto external forces. One netizen commented, "The Wuhan pneumonia was caused by the United States releasing the virus, and the Guizhou fire was ignited by the Japanese. In the future, there will be detailed fantasy scenarios emerging, and these narratives will become common knowledge among WeChat users concerned about national affairs, but who don't go online. Thus, a consensus formed among the whole people. All our current hardships are caused by external forces. Fortunately, we have the Chinese Communist Party. Otherwise, we would have starved to death. Suffering turns into happiness." Some netizens sarcastically summarized failures in the college entrance examination, being laid off, unable to find a job, failing to pass the postgraduate entrance examination, living in unfinished buildings, and being owed wages. All these are things done by the Japanese. Li Ying, an overseas Chinese writer in Italy, wrote on X that Japanese are sabotaging Chinese herbal medicine trade because Guizhou is one of the 4 major Chinese herbal medicine producing areas in China, with a wide variety of medicinal herbs of high quality. But now that Beijing has just announced a ban on the export of rare medicinal materials to Japan, Guizhou has caught fire. It is suspected that Japanese spies set the fire with a grudge. Similar anti-intellectual rumors have left the outside world dumbfounded. Every time a natural disaster occurs, people can see. The CCP disregards the lives and deaths of the people. Man-made disasters are more terrifying than natural ones. The CCP claims to be the great savior of the people, but in essence, the Chinese Communist Party is the great disaster of the Chinese nation. Reject the CCP, disintegrate the CCP, and the Chinese people can stay away from disasters.